Hello, and welcome back to the Insight Podcast. I know we've been away for a couple of months. I've had a new baby who was in hospital for quite a few weeks with problems. She's fine now, which is great. We're back to normal. The other two also had a lot going on. I'll let them explain. Doughty.
So I've been pretty caught up with university work with my third year, so it's been a bit stop-start, and as well as that as well, we have expanded Insight into another field. So we have launched Insight Gaming, which you may have seen on Twitter, you might not have, but we've been putting a bit of time into that as well. So that's something if you want to check out, if that's something you enjoy, if you like gaming and you want to follow our journey in there. So we'll leave the links to that in the description as well. And I know Bates has been a little bit caught up with some things.
Yeah, mainly for me, it's just work, going
Yeah.
back to work, and then after work, dropping into to obviously with Insight Gaming as well. So it's been all go. We've all had a few bits and bobs on, haven't we? So it's good to be back. It's good to be filming and getting the show back on the road again. So it's good.
So yeah, the first podcast back. Well, this has been in the pipeline for a while now. We was sent some boots by a football boot company. I'll quickly show you the design. They are still a bit dirty. I tried to give them the best wash I could. They're from SEGA Sports. They sent them over and asked us to review them. And me and Jordan play football a bit too much. So
I also have a design. It's a red and white one.
So they sent us two. I got a green and black, and Jordan got a white and red. So yeah, we've been trying to wear them as much as possible. Obviously, it's hard. It's hard to break in new boots as well as a lockdown, and yeah, it's been a bit stop-start with football this year. But hopefully now we can sort of wear them more. But we've also wore them enough to sort of give our view on them. But they're definitely a boot I'm going to carry on wearing for a few more weeks just to try and get a real good feel for them. But so far they seem good to me. So I think Batesy's got a few questions lined up for us, and we'll knock them down, kind of thing.
Yeah, just for anyone wondering why I never got sent any boots, is because I've retired. So my footballing days are behind me.
I know he looks young, but
don't let the beard fool you. Right, okay, so with the boots, first of all, obviously the style of the boot. What would you say? Well, obviously seeing them and using them, what would you give your intakes on the style of the boot?
I'll let you go first, George. Yeah.
Personally, style of boot doesn't bother me. Colours, I'm more of just a jet black kind of player. I like just black boots, simple, plain. So the style, I'm not really too fussed. There's a little bit bright for me. Again, they're the boots, the red and white. But all in all, the style's quite nice. It's nothing like thrown at you. Like there's no silly patterns or anything at them. It's just solid white and red.
Yeah, I think for me as well, I'm more of a traditional black boot centre half kind of thing. So when I'm running around in a bright green pair, it's a bit different. But for me, boot colour doesn't tend to matter too much. I prefer black, but yeah, it doesn't matter too much wearing colours for me. The design again, basic, minimal, fine. Like there's nothing. I wouldn't not wear them just because of the patterns kind of thing. So for me, yeah, it's a solid 7 out of 10, I'd say. It'd
7
be
out of 10, really?
8 or 9 Virgin Light, perfect. So that would be black with a bit of colour. If it were pure black, it'd be near 10, wouldn't it? Really, in terms of pattern and design, yeah.
Wicked. Okay, so there could be a bit more plain.
Yeah,
than,
it could offer the
to what you like, but obviously everyone's
it's opinion
different,
based,
aren't they?
Yeah.
Let's say people, players like bright colours, or they like, I mean, your pattern boots, or your couple of solid colours, and they're perfect for them.
Yeah.
But obviously, for me and Dad, we both prefer just a normal plain black. It's just a preference.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. So what would you compare them to? Obviously, normally, you play in Nike and Adidas. So what would you compare them to? Obviously, worldwide known brands to like Nike and Adidas. How would you compare them to them kind of boots?
I'd say the only issue I had was bedding them in. It took a little bit longer to bed the boot in than what like your normal Adidas and Nike do. I don't know if that's because you sort of used, because for me, my last pair was Puma, the last pair before that was Adidas, and they're both quite wide fit. So for me, with having wide feet, they just fit quite nicely. I think these are a little bit smaller
Sorry.
than how an Adidas come.
Fucking wide feet,
I have got
man.
wide
It
feet.
made me giggle.
Yeah,
It just made me giggle. I
Adidas
couldn't hold it. I'm
Adidas
sorry.
are quite a wide fit. So, and same with Puma, but with like these are a little bit thinner. So it took it's Pacey, man. Pacey's corpsing.
You're cracking me up, bro.
But yeah, they're just a,
Oh,
just a
fucking hell, sorry.
smidgen tighter than what an Adidas boot would be. But for me, like a couple of wears of them and snug, fit nicely. Sad.
I don't know. It's just really tickled me. That it's just I've just knocked tea
The only-
everywhere getting up as well. It's
The
really
only,
tickled
pro-
me.
the only problem I really found was the tongue of the boot. It moves a lot, and it's not as tight as a night boot would be. So that just moves a lot for me. But other than that, I didn't really notice any difference with the comfortness of the boots or anything else like that. They're a nice fit, but like I say, I've probably got thinner feet than Doughty, so there's a nicer fit. So other than the tongue moving a lot, that's the only thing I noticed on the boot. So,
and as well, what I did find is it might sound really stupid, but the laces actually stayed tied really well. You know, with certain boots, you sometimes get really like
coming undone all the
crappy
time.
lace quality, and it's always undone. But these were actually like, you know, you tie them once, you'd probably redo them at half time, and happy days, like they're not going to come undone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't find myself having to waste time tying bootlaces, which is all right when you're chasing a game. But if you want them to come undone when you're winning, like just to waste a few more seconds. But no, they were bang on. To be fair, the laces as well.
Yeah.
So how would you say the ball felt at your feet then? With them on, how was it like controlling, moving with the ball?
Again, I didn't really notice much different to just wearing a pair of my other boots that I wear. There was soft touch at the end. Just control the molds at the bottom were nice to like roll the ball and stuff. That didn't seem to affect anything. There's a lot of like comfort around your arch of your foot area. So when I was shooting the ball, it felt nice. It wasn't like too thin to the bottom. If you had an odd ball, it like sort of stung your foot. So there's a nice comfort around it. I don't doubt about you with your defending.
I think with defending, it offered a bit more protection because they're a little bit thicker than what a normal like Adidas night boot would be, because they make them really, really thin, sort of built not to last kind of thing. Because you obviously with them boots, you're sort of paying for the brand, whereas with these, I think they're built like a little bit thicker. So when you're going into tackles and stuff, it offers you that little bit more of, you know, if someone catches you, it doesn't hurt as much. The boot sort of absorbs a bit more of the impact. And as well I mean, defending wise, like with the studs, they're still quite agile. You're still quite, and if anything, I think they're better on the mud than what a normal mold would be as well, which I found quite useful because often towards the end of a game, when the pitches are starting to cut and there's sludge and it's like you're playing in a swamp, you can still find your feet. You're not sliding around like Bambi on ice. So for me, they did the job, sort of thing. So
cool, lovely, good to know.
I will add, personally, I've only been able to play on 4G with them. So that even when 4G was wet, I didn't find myself slipping on there.
The only time I did struggle on 4G was last training session when it was really icy, when the ice came across and I was sliding around. But again, that's probably because it's ice. Yeah.
Anything what you wear,
anything.
Gonna struggle, unless you're wearing some nice boots.
Some ice skates.
Absolute top toe breakers in them.
So we're talking that then. So like you say, in the grass then, you know, when it's wet and slippery, you know, they stuck well, they gripped well to the grass. What would you give it out of 10?
Easy compared to others. Again, another 7, 7.5, 8.
So strong, again, very good.
I'll quickly show the bottom. I think with the little design, this little bit here, I know some people aren't keen on that, but with these back end as well, they sort of keep your balance quite nicely. So you still got your studs and you've got a few blades at the back. So you're not going to slip on your heel, but you're also going to keep your sort of quickness in the front of your foot, which I think was quite like decent, really. Because you can stick your foot in and stay planted if you needed to tackle, but you could also sprint with the studded bit on the top. So for me, they work perfectly for a defender kind of thing. But
Cool.
I don't
Okay.
know if George, you felt anything different being like an attacker, but for me,
Again,
they just felt
I can't really.
fine.
I use them on
Yeah,
4G,
yeah.
so about grass
Mm.
at the minute. I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to use them.
They're quite solid stats from you both, really.
Yeah, yeah.
4G works well, grass works well, so they do the job.
I'll be honest,
basically.
it will be a very big test around Christmas time because all the pictures are normally sludgy
Yeah.
and wet and horrible.
Yeah.
I had the struggle on Sunday of playing on a bog kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know you opted to go for your metals, didn't you, George? Well, your
Yeah,
usual
yes.
pair, and I sort of went, well, you know what? There ain't gonna be better opportunities to try them. Let's give them a whirl, and they passed the test. Like, I mean, we won 3-0, kept a clean sheet, so happy days kind of thing. So yeah, for me, they stood the test of a Sunday league pitch. So yeah.
Yeah, and you don't get much worse than Sunday league
Mate,
pitches, do
It's
you?
you don't
definitely
get
the biggest test
you
for a
don't
football
get
boot.
much worse than
Yeah.
a bog on a Sunday afternoon.
So touching on the material, then, which we're going to the next question with the material, it being cold, wet, and we, like you said, just a little bit earlier on as well with the material as well. Are they going to last the season? Are they, you're going to be able to play them for 2 seasons? Halfway through, do you think maybe you might get a little tear, or with the wet and the cold, how they're going to hold up, that kind of thing?
I genuinely think they'll last at least a season.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the firm, they have a lot of comfort around these bits which go around your ankles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where your bones are. There's a lot of comfort in there, but like around here, the bottom, this bit, especially your heel, it's all solid. So a lot of problem I have with my boots is they have come off here.
Yep.
This split here, and I just don't feel like they feel flimsy enough to do that. They feel really solid.
Another thing we haven't actually picked up on, I've got them here because I just had to give them white, was the soles. I thought the soles were really good, like cushioned. You didn't really feel much of the pitch underneath you, like when you're playing on a hard like Astro, but you also don't feel them hurting the bottom of your feet, which I think, yeah, it's like they're just your standard like sole plate, but for me they feel really comfortable. They just feel like any normal sole would, and I do struggle with the arches of my feet being slightly flat-footed, but they sort of didn't need any sort of special inner sole with them. They were fine, like, so they passed that test.
So with that as well, like you guys are saying, what's the price range on them?
I think checking at the website recently, I think the firm ground ones were at £30, I think, for the brutal mate, which these are. Which for me,
these are the SEGA
value for money, bang on.
Perfect.
Like bang on.
Especially with the time of the year where we are at Christmas, or with the fact that we've just been in a lockdown, a lot of people have been on furlough, stuff like that. If your children or yourself, you're running low on a bit of money and you need some boots, honestly, would 10 out of 10 recommend.
100%, yeah. And it is as well, like, if for example, your main pair of boots are ripping and tearing, and you need something like, if you're not quite sure what boot you want, but you need something, that boot will 100% be there, and you might even be like me and use them a bit more often than what you thought you was going to, kind of thing.
Even if you just need a pair of boots for training, or like for me, for AstroTurf, rather than using your main boots and ruining them, they're perfect.
Yeah, I think as well with them being solely molds, you can say if you are a player who likes to have a pair of molds and a pair of studs, if you buy an expensive pair of studded boots or like hard ground boots with the studs on, and you need, like, you say, if you spent a bit too much and you're like, oh, I need a pair of molds, they will do the job 1,000,000% on Astro, on really nice pitches. I mean, you don't come across them very often on a Sunday League footballer's journey, but if you do, they will 100% pass that test as well as play on Astro. So for me, like, I can't recommend them enough, kind of thing.
To be fair, I was saying just touching on the really nice pitches. We played on some better pitches on a Saturday. I mean,
yeah.
You've also used them on there.
Yeah, and they're fine. Like
I'd say with ground that's kept kit, they take care of the grounds on a Saturday. Obviously, do you fear any difference in that?
Not really. No. If anything, they perform like a normal, like more of a normal boot kind of thing. When you're playing on them bogs, you sometimes lose a little bit of grip, which you do. Like obviously when you're wearing mold, you do, but on a proper carpet pitch, as you want to call it, they fare just as decent as your Adidas, your Nikes, your Pumas. So for me, they did all right for me.
Sound.
Okay, and where could people buy these boots from?
If you go https://www.segastore.uk/discount/insight will also get you a 20% discount on every product on this store.
And they don't just do football gear neither. I think they do rugby. I think they do stuff like tennis shoes and stuff like that. So even if you're not a key, like say if you're just taking up tennis, for example, and you need a cheap pair of starter gear, if the tennis shoes are anything as good as the football boots, you'll be laughing, kind of thing. And if it's just one of them, like you're off the cuff and you want to start playing football, you might not want to sink too much money down it. This is a very good starter pair of boot that will do the job for you.
Yeah. So that's SEGA.store.uk, yeah?
Yeah.
They also do sell them on Amazon, but for Amazon you cannot use the discount code INSIGHT, which is INSIGHT. We will leave the link in the description for the shop, and also the 20% discount code in the description.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, I can't recommend them enough because I had an issue with my boots. My other boots ripped, like where Jordan said, right on the where your big toe kind of area is, through wear and tear. And I was very thankful these were in the kit bag, kind of thing. And I wore them a couple of times, and I just thought they're doing all right. I'm not feeling any difference in my performance. I'm not feeling any different on my feel, kind of, for the ball. So there's no reason why I shouldn't keep wearing them. And if anything, now I'll probably go and buy a studded pair. So I've got the studded pair and I've got the firm ground AstroTurf pair, and it saved me chucking money where I don't need to, kind of thing. So I mean, I can more than recommend them. I mean, I'm using them now as my main pair of boots until probably after Christmas, when I'll go and buy a studded pair, and that'll be me grass pitch, and these will do the job on the Astro for me. So
the Astro,
yeah.
So that's pretty good. And an honest review. We just put it out there. We don't know we don't owe anything to these guys. They just wanted a pure honest review off us. You two obviously play, in normal circumstances, play a lot of football in the week. I don't know how you do it personally, but you do a lot of football, and this was an honest review. So we thank I think it was Simon from SEGA coming out to us and reaching out to us and saying, would you if we send you some products, would you do
if we do
a review?
a quick overview, pros and cons. For me, the cons are, personally, I like darker colours. I know George's the same. I'd also like to see, if they did do a studded pair, if they did do the metal studs, how they fared as well. So that could be something, for them to look at, to try. Again,
also if they could make the tongues a little bit tighter.
And the flappy tongue, some people don't like it. For me, I didn't notice it, but for Jordan, he did.
Don't change the laces.
Yeah, do not change the laces. The laces are bang on.
Good.
Yeah.
As
well, the comfort, the sole plate, banging.
Yes,
you can't knock it. Again, the molded studs, as molded studs come, performed to the same standard as other boots would. Yeah, as any other boots would. So yeah, I think just on a personal note, a darker colour, even if it's a darker blue or a darker red kind of thing, would, for me personally, be better. But that's just, again, cosmetic. That's nothing to do with how they fared.
Nothing to do with the boot.
Yeah.
But it's obviously just the preference of wanting the darker colour.
Yeah, so I think we've covered everything. I think in terms of how the boots feel. If anything, these boots have done me better because I got an assist in them. So yeah.
Your lucky boots, then, yeah.
Lucky boots now, yeah.
So overall, out of 10, what would you give them out of 10 overall?
Solid 7. Probably
overall,
could be higher with the little cons, yeah.
I'm varying 7, 8.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
think
So it's a high standard. It's a really
Yeah,
good
it's just-
standard then, especially for a boot that probably a
think-
lot of people probably haven't even heard of. I'd never heard of
nope,
them before,
yeah,
obviously.
personally never heard them myself. No.
Before them approaching
might-
us. So
if I know there's certain players that will need a specific boot. They might have a weird foot or a weird something on the foot, a defect on the foot or something, which means they need specialised boots, which they don't touch in over there. But for a normal player, I personally didn't see a difference from using them
I
to
agree.
my
And
other
it's-
boots.
with the value for money, bang on.
Oh, perfect.
Value for money
Bang
would be
on,
10
yeah.
out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10 value for money. If we
Yeah.
step aside from me saying I'd like a darker boot, 10 out of 10, 30 pounds for a pair of boots. I mean, they don't feel any different to what I was wearing before. Obviously, standing the test of time is the hardest thing. They've done well for me over probably about 6-week period,
Mm-hmm.
like either side of lockdown. So if they last another 6 to 8 weeks, there's your £30 back in a football boot, easy. With the amount of football that we play, I mean, we used to play 4 times a week. Obviously now with COVID, it's 3 or 4 times a week, 3 times a week instead of 4 or 5 kind of thing. So again, with the amount of football I play, it probably lessens the lifespan. But if I can get 6 month to 8 month out of a football boot for £30, mate, you're laughing. You are laughing.
Yeah, that's like a month's subs, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I spent £230 on a brand new pair of Nike, and they lasted half a season.
Yeah, mine were the same.
And I did it again. When they ripped, I brought another pair for around the same price, and by the end of the season, they tore again.
Yeah, I was the same with a
because
pair
they're
of
very, very
Adidas,
they're obviously very thin, and the material is obviously more expensive on a Nike or an Adidas boot. That's what you pay for.
Yeah.
But they don't feel as obviously these feel solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
not-
I was
not-
always very superstitious with my boots. If I could spend £100 on a pair of boots and 6 weeks later, believe because I had a bad game in them that I couldn't play in them, so I'd go out and spend another £100 on sometimes be the same boot, realistically, just a different colour or something. And it was all psychologically in my head that if I put these on again, like it brought back memories of the last game kind of thing. So
yeah.
with the superstitions and things like that. So everyone's each to their own, I suppose, in some formats kind of thing. But overall, 7s and 8s out of 10 for this kind of boot.
Definitely.
With a few
But again,
improvements.
that's in terms of performance, in terms of value.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, 100%.
10 out of 10. You can't. Even if you was to purchase these for £30 and you use them for a month and you went, these aren't for me. You've only lost 30 quid.
Anything,
where
really.
If you get like George said, you go out and you spend 180 quid or whatever on a pair of boots, and a month later down the line, they're not working for you. Whatever, you're down a lot of money, especially in these strange times that we're living in at the minute. So. So overall, thumbs up. We'll say it again, segastore.uk.
Yeah, I'll just give it again, www.segastore.uk. And then, obviously, any product you want to buy, checkout is Insight, INSIGHT is the 20% discount code.
Yeah, and we'll leave everything in the description as well for anyone who wants to purchase anything. And like I say,
We'll
leave
the social media on there as well. So drop them a follow on Twitter.
The Twitter.
I think they might have others. We'll find out. But Twitter's the main one that we know. So if you want to drop them a follow, drop them a message, ask them anything, give them feedback from what you've heard from us. So if you're a player who likes darker boots, go, I've seen the boot review. Is there any chance you're going to do darker boots? They might, through demand, they may do that for you, for us. And again, we're only giving them honest feedback to help them. They're helping us by giving us boots, and I appreciate them doing that. They didn't have to. So yeah, again, big shout out to them.
Definitely, big shout out to Simon and SEGA for helping us again. I knew the podcast took a little bit longer than what it should, but like I say, due to COVID, due to everything that we all had going on, it was just getting pushed back and back and back. But now we are back. We are going to start making it more weekly again.
I've got some stuff in the pipeline as well with
definitely.
In terms of half-season reviews, and
we had some guests
coming on as well.
we definitely had some good guests lined up, but we kind of had to say like, look, we're gonna have to cut it off for a bit. They said, look, get back in touch when you're ready to do it. We'll do it again. We're gonna have to line them back up. We've definitely got some more guests coming. We're gonna get some YouTubers in, some streamers that like some smaller streamers that we know of. We're gonna do a mid-season review because I know basically it's dying to talk about how good West Brom are.
Oh yeah.
And I'm dying to talk about just how good Wayne Rooney's Derby County are.
There we go, boys. That's payback for when you keep bringing up the fact that you beat Liverpool, basically.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? How much happier days they were, huh? You know.
Don't get some texts on a Saturday afternoon.
I think that wraps it all up for us for today. So hopefully, when you next see us, we'll either be talking about the current state of our clubs, which is going to be really fun. Hopefully, mine will be a little bit better after
I can't
this
wait,
weekend.
boys.
Also, as well, if you want to drop comments below and tell us what you would like to see on the channel going forward as well.
Also, if you did like the video, please drop us a like and subscribe for more to come.
It helps the YouTube algorithm. You all know it makes sense.
Oh yes, and then again, thank you from us all.
And if you've made it this far in the video, leave SEGA Sports in the comments. Let's see if anyone's listened to the end, shall we? We'll leave it in there. Right, guys. Again, thank you for listening. Big shout out to SEGA and Simon over there. Keep doing the good work, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.